So I believe yesterday's video we talked about the whole thing about anime YouTubers not really existing anymore, and kind of how regular traditional anime YouTubers kind of just is a thing of the past, and no one really cares for that anymore, as especially as I've seen from the comments of the previous video, pretty much agreeing with that side of the take of everything, right? And so I was really thinking about that, and really just sitting here thinking about the whole grounds of this channel that we have built, and the fact that we are kind of getting there to 5K. We're kind of getting there, and to keep it very much that that's very much a situation where I'm feeling like it's about dang time to get there. But also at the very same time, that's a lot of damn people, right? I know people will be like, oh, I got 1 million subs and 100K and all that sort of stuff. But that's a lot of damn people to really think about it, right? We got 5,000, potentially 5,000 people coming through soon that wants to hear me yap about whatever the hell, possibly effing, Eerie in the ass, wanting to eat Konako's ass out as well, and then murdering Issei on a daily basis, while also talking about other things of interest. That is kind of baffling. I'm not gonna lie. Granted, there's an audience for everybody, right? But at the very same time, the more you kind of think about it, it's kind of just wild, and it's not coming from like a place of like, oh yeah, I'm about to get 5,000 people. I'm about to be lit. I know I'm hot shit. Because I'll be real, I don't feel like I am. I still don't feel like I am after all this time. Years ago, people have constantly seen me and constantly have watched me for a very long time. And it's just like, still to this day, I don't feel like I'm hot shit. I really don't. I don't feel like I am. There is times where I'm feeling like, oh yes, we are doing this. But that's about as far as that go. Because still to this day, just to be honest, like, I'm still grateful for all this stuff, right? It's not necessarily exactly where I want it to be. Five close to 6 years in at doing this at this point. But still, it's kind of wild. Because, again, really think about it for 5 seconds, at least for me. There's not a lot of people that will probably sit here and just have 5,000 people, close to 5,000 people, to even know who they is just in life in general as they go about in life. Sure, you'll probably meet a ton of people, but they're not going to really know who you are or anything like that. And the fact that we got just even 4,000 people is just kind of wild, right? That's just how it is. And for me personally, that is something. I feel like once 5K is achieved, it gives me the hope. It gives me the hope and inspiration to kind of be like, okay, 5,000 people. That's a lot of people. It feels possible that we can do this. That can be, an actual dream to come actually true. That we have an actual chance in real life for whatever reason, for the first time in forever. For the first time in forever. That's just kind of how it feels. But I don't know. It just kind of feels weird, but also a surreal sort of feeling, right? It's something I don't know how to really properly sit here and explain, right? Because for so many years, I've been trying to get content to go the way I need it to go, at least in the direction where I hope it can go, and just been trying any and everything, regardless of whether it is something of a hot and spicy boy of content that we do, or rather it's something in a different take of it. I've just been really trying everything I possibly can to think of to just really get this channel going where I want it to go, right? For the longest time, stuff like Genshin content was not really a thing on this channel, or at least anytime I try to make it a thing, not a lot of people were interested in it. And now look at these videos hitting 1K and 3K and all that sort of stuff, and just videos in general, right? If you told me that was gonna happen for Genshin content, I would have laughed in your damn face, because bitch, that shit sometimes didn't want to get over like 100 views, and now the fact that it's like actually getting a bit more than that is like pretty damn crazy. But it also goes to show you that if you try something long enough and you keep trying at it, even if it takes years, it will yield some type of result. Even if it's not the best result that you want to see, it still will give you something of the sort, right? Because now people actually, care about certain things of what I like to say, in terms of like, you know, stuff with Genshin and stuff like that, or just things in general in terms of like how I think about the industry of entertainment and stuff like that too, because you know, as time goes on, the entertainment industry gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and at some point in time I feel like somebody needs to step up and say something even out of more out of pocket than we usually get, and hopefully I've been that, right? And that's kind of what I don't want to say that's what I want to ultimately be as this channel continues on, but I want to be something that is not necessarily afraid to step out and stand out, right? I might not talk about literally everything that other people like to yap about or want me to yap about and all that sort of stuff. Like, at the end of the day, it just is what this. I'm still gonna make the content that I very much would like to make. And back then, even recently, like a few months ago, I was scared to kind of sit here and just make whatever content, because I don't know how that's going to be perceived. I don't know how many people would actually sit here and watch me, you know, yap about certain things, because I don't know how people's mindsets actually are. But now that we kind of get to a point where it's like, oh, it's somewhat possible to do so, it gives me some type of hope, and it gives me some type of clarity that, okay, so I am valid. Just gotta figure out how to put the pieces together well enough to make it even more so valid, and that's just how it is. Granted, also too, I do want to be absolutely clear that without a lot of you guys being here too, this shit would not even be possible from where we are right now, you know. And I know somebody could easily sit here and say, bro, little bro, you got like, you know, 4,000 plus people, that's really all you got. Calm down. You can say that, but if you're not in a position where you don't have that, I don't really think you guys can very much, or at least whoever might be like that, would very much understand how this sort of feels, right? Because back then, like in the early days of getting on the internet and understanding how this all stuff works out and all that sort of stuff, trying to get people to, you know, get people's attention in the first damn place, it was not easy. It was not an easy time, right? Getting people to legitimately care while also going through a lot of other IRL things too. It was just hard. It's still hard, especially now, but it's, you know, it's still hard, but you know, I'm kind of pretty much in a routine for it. I'm pretty much used to the idea of it. There has been plenty of times where, you know, I've been questioning myself if this is exactly what I'm supposed to do and how to kind of do sort of things, because when it comes to YouTube and just content creation, I'll be real, there is no rule book as to how to get to X place to X place to X place outside of just upping your content and upping what the things you talk about and just hoping and praying somebody cares. That's kind of what you kind of have, right? For the most part, that's what you essentially get. And it's not really a lot of, you know, reason as to why. It's whether you're, you know, you'll actually get it or you don't get it. And that's kind of how it is. And I would like to think after all this time, I'm on the pathway of actually scoring something big here, right? Because like I said before, this channel, while, you know, it's definitely something that, you know, I started out with, and really, you know, there's been a lot of ultimately different things that I want to achieve with this channel, but a fair amount of the bigger things of what I wanted to do is essentially, one, have this as a space of my own to kind of just yap about certain things and, you know, kind of tell the truth about how I sort of feel about certain things and stuff like that. Kind of have a safe space for me, which is kind of crazy because I'm sharing this safe space with so many damn people and anybody can very much say what they want to say, but at the very same time, it's like the one place where I still to this day absolutely feel like I am free of all restraints and kind of can say what I want to say for the most part, right? And it feels nice. It feels nice to be, you know, validated in some shape and form, I suppose, right? I sound like Beatrice from ReZero for whatever reason. I keep saying I suppose and I don't get why, but it's just nice to feel like, you know, your opinions actually is something and other people can very much agree with that, right? I'm not saying every opinion I have is correct. I'm not saying that it all slaps. You can definitely disagree with my opinions if that's how you feel, and you sure as hell do that sometimes, and I'm not mad at that. But it is just nice to say, like, hey, this is a space This is, you know, a place where I would like to talk about certain things, and that's just ultimately how it is. And that's just kind of what also helps being a variety channel when it comes down to it too, because it's like, well, if I was only stuck doing one thing, I wouldn't be able to say a lot of the stuff I've been able to do so, right? And I get it, YouTube don't like variety, they don't like creativity and creative channels and stuff like that. I absolutely get that, but at the very same time, if I wasn't doing that, I'd be so bored out my mind. Could you imagine me just yapping about one thing and one thing entirely? That would be just tragically boring. That would be just the most non-important thing ever, and I could not care for something like that, right? It's just how it is. And plus, then you be having a hard time trying to struggle to get out of that content. And yeah, I'm not really for that. That's just not how this channel ever was, and never what it was supposed to be. I like it random, and that's kind of what the point of the channel is. It's supposed to be a bunch of random ass content that you may or may not end up liking, right? But that's just kind of how it is. One day I might talk about Genshin and be simping over Skirk random for her to, you know, shred reality in front of my damn face to change it up like handsome Squidward. Or essentially the next minute I'm essentially talking about wanting to eat out Kana's ass. That's just how it is. And in the next other minute I'm talking about, you know, some fire ass NSFW artists and how they should be drawing me clapping Konako's cheeks in the animation or a picture or something like that. And then the next minute I'm out here just yapping about, you know, the industry of entertainment. And that's just kind of how it is. You don't know what you're getting on this channel, and I like it that way. It's a piece of uniqueness and randomness that hopefully enough you'll get, and you don't really know what the hell is going to come out my mouth the next damn thing and the next damn phrase and stuff like that. I know a lot of these videos too have been like, you know, more so ranty-ish sort of style, not so much, you know, edited either. And I totally get the people that very much is like, you know, wanting to see more edits and stuff. But as of right now, I just don't want to have the time. And then two, I know a lot of people also don't really care for, you know, the videos where I put my sprite into the picture of the video and then ultimately have that just, you know, flip-flop in different backgrounds and stuff like that and whatever. I know a lot of people don't also care about that, even though that's kind of what I started out on with Danganronpa and all that stuff. But still, you know, that's just kind of how it is, and that's just essentially what the content has been now, right? I'm not saying I don't want to edit anything ever, because that's a damn lie. If you have seen the whole thing with Lapis and the whole collaboration we did with that was a lot of editing and a lot of damn work. I like to imagine I'm a pretty good editor when it comes down to it. At least I try to with this potato ass PC. But that's just how it is though, right? And yeah, that's just the kind of the point. With as this channel kind of grows into something bigger and something more unique, I like to hope that it can reach a lot more people to kind of reach in for their own inner uniqueness, their own inner randomness, you know, in a more positive sort of way. Because a lot of people, it kind of feels like that one meme on TikTok where, you know, people be forgetting that they have free will and they just go outside and do something weird and random. Like, remember, you have free will. You can hit the nene in your living room or something like that in front of your family. It's gonna be awkward as shit and everybody's gonna be laughing at your ass, but you still have free will to do so, you know. And that's what this channel means to me, an essence of free will to do whatever the hell I decide to. And that's just how it is, right? And I'm just looking forward to the day where we hit 5K. One, so I can, you know, release those shin pain hand pictures, which unless somebody is going to do it before me, which that's perfectly fine. But still, very much that's number one. And then number two, I guess also kind of to see if this is actually a path forward, right? Because I believe in this path 100%, but I feel like it would hit me hard once I see the big old 5,000 kohais here, and then ultimately I'm just gonna be like, what the fudge is this? That's just gonna be how it is for me. It's gonna feel a bit surreal. It kind of does now, like it just kind of does, but more so then, because I'm like, okay, 10K is looking hella real right now. 10,000 people knowing who the hell I am. Could you imagine that shit? That shit sounds weird, right? That shit sounds weird for me. That sounds like an impossibility, but also a possibility I want to see get cracked, you know? But I don't want to try to ramble on this damn long. My point is, when it comes down to this channel and this whole video, is essentially we are very much close to 5,000, and we'll be on the road to 10K after that, right? And when that point hits, I don't know how things are gonna, I guess, for me, feel, right? I'm very much gonna be happy for it, like, don't get wrong, but how am I gonna feel when that time comes, though? It's gonna be a little while. I know I'm looking far into the future, maybe, and hopefully, you know, I would rather it not be super far into the future and actually be pretty damn soon. I feel like I deserve it after all this time of putting in the work constantly. But, you know, I very much would like to see just a bit of hope for me, a hope for other people too, and a bit of change too, because this, again, a lot of content creators that exist now that just don't care for the people and don't really care about where they came from and all that sort of stuff, and just kind of betray everything that everybody has supported them for. And I don't want to be that. I don't really want to be that. I ain't gonna say I'm perfect, or, you know, I ain't gonna F up at times, because I probably will, you know. But at the very same time, I don't want to necessarily sit here and just betray the trust of the people, right? And become one of those Genshin VAs that effed around and found out, and then get basically bitched by everybody. Like, I don't want to go through something like that. I don't want to put anybody through that when it comes down to it. Because this, again, means something. Not just for me, but for potentially my family as well. And just things and stuff like that, and just in general. So I guess that's really what I wanted to just nail down when it comes down to it, though. I'm just hella excited for this channel and its future and where it can potentially go, because this world is already, I don't know if you've seen a lot of the nonsense that's been happening in the world currently. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of nonsense in ways that we will not talk about on this channel, because I don't want to get into all that. But I feel like a lot of that shit is very much unnecessary. If people actually just chill the hell out for 5 seconds, we could be being chilling. We could be being chilling hard as hell, eating Chi-Chi's ass and bonding over the ass cheeks of this dead zombie lolly chick. That's just how it is. But that's just unfortunately how it is. And sometimes it hits in ways where you just don't want it to, right? Like, for instance, Lapis recently we did a whole collab with. She's going through something that's part of the issues that's been going on, whether it's a certain, you know, conflict, or a certain group of people taking people away from a different group of people. I don't know, but I believe that's kind of where that is, and it sucks because, you know, obviously people just want to do what they can. They want to just straight up be the best version of themselves, much less, you know, try to make it to some degree. And it's shit every time life just sits here and denies you essentially what you really want to get. And trust me, I know that feeling a ton of damn times, way too damn much. Every time something good happens for me, something 10,000 times negative just happens right after, and I don't get why. But you get the damn point. It's just like, it shouldn't be like that, right? And hopefully when this channel gets to that point, when it actually be able to, you know, help me, and then, you know, help the people around me, and hopefully, you know, it'll be able to help a lot of you guys too. I don't know if it actually has helped anybody, if I'm being honest, right? I really don't know. But ultimately, I just really want this to be something. I want this to mean something, right? And it feeling like it actually can be, which is a crazy thing to think about. But yeah, I guess that's really what I wanted to say. Just generally, just showing a bit of gratitude, showing a bit of respect to you guys as well, because again, there is no damn way, with, you know, a lot of the stuff that's happened in life right in front of me, there is no way I would have been able to do half of the stuff if it wasn't for you guys and your support and the continued, you know, sharing and liking of the channel, even if it's the wild intakes, or even if it's something just bare and basic like this. It doesn't necessarily matter. I appreciate every single part of it, because that's what this is. That's what's supposed to be what this is. This is not just a help for, you know, yourself, but a help for me too, and ways that is not just financially something good, but also, like, you know, human wise something good, to better each other in some shape or form, because a lot of people don't have the chance or don't really care to look themselves in the mirror or try to reflect in some shape or form. And this channel keeps me, I feel like this channel keeps me very much in line of what I should be doing. A lot of the time I didn't even know what the hell I was going to do, especially after I failed college. And now every single time I get up here to get ready to upload and get ready to do something here, I feel like this is the place I'm supposed to be at. This is the valid place I'm supposed to do content and you know, try to make something happen, make something shake, and make a difference in some shape or form through this. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. And hopefully you'll have me for many, many, many more times. But that's really all I want to say for this one. I've been kind of rambling a bit more honestly with this, but it just, again, you can't just forget where you come from, and you can't forget the people that helped you here, right? Even at this point in time, you know, and even at this amount of subs that we are at, it's just still just something that I don't want to take lightly, take for granted either, and just fully remember and appreciate the fact that all this stuff is very much, you know, possible. It feels like it can actually be something big for all of us, and very much a life-changing thing for me too, which would actually be the first damn W for this family ever. So there's that too. But hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also, let me know in the comments below on some Genshin type beat. You pulling for Skirk? If so, how many pulls do you have? I have 110 pulls, I believe, in the bank. So hopefully she'll come home soon. And yeah, let me know in the comments just if you're ready for her, if you got your mats ready, because we should be ready. If she does not get in the game, I'm absolutely throwing the console out the window into the atmosphere of space, colliding with an alien spaceship so it can nuke your ass. Because why not? But ultimately though, that's really all I want to say for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy, and until then, it's me, Boy Dre, signing off. Have a blessed day.